Hi guys, so today I'm here at Louth Boltzwood and I've got the absolute pleasure of driving the MK3 Audi TTS. We're going to do our usual and take a look around, and then we'll take it out for a spin and see what we think and see why it is forgotten, and if not, is it a hidden gem that we all forget about? Now, the TT just has that mean look. It was always known as a hairdresser car, but I think we're really focusing on those sharp, mean edges and also things like these gorgeous 20-inch alloys. It really brings the look together and takes it away from that hairdresser's car to a real performance sports car. Obviously, you've got the quad exhaust there, which look fantastic, making people know that yes, this car can perform. Now inside, you've got Audi's quality that you can just hear when you open the doors. This one has the super sport seats with the beautiful quilted leather in the gorgeous red, which I think contrasts really nice with the Daytona grey. Obviously, you've got Audi's beautiful steering wheel. I think it's fantastic, and just inside has Audi's quality. Obviously, we've got the virtual cockpit there as well, which in the TTs you have no sort of display here. It's all for the driver. Again, enhancing driver's focus and really bringing everything together for the people in the car. In the back, you have quite a nice pull here rather than sort of a nasty little switch. There's not a huge amount of room. I mean, maybe 2 dogs or a very small child, but then again, you're buying a car like this to enjoy it, not to be lugging around the family. If you put those back seats down, you can really get your suitcases for your week's holiday in there. I mean, you can't really complain at that. So this car in particular is keyless, so we'll pop the keys here into the little cup holder. Oh, actually, there's a specified key holder. Look at that! It's meant to be. Okay, so it's quite warm today, so let's get it started up. Let's see what it sounds like. Not too bad. The MK3 TTS is a turbocharged 4-cylinder 2-litre engine, which gives you 306 brake horsepower, which is plenty in a car that doesn't weigh too much. So it can be like a little bit heavier, it does feel a little bit bulky, but power to weight ratio is really, really good on them. And obviously it's got the all-wheel drive system, which some people do say it does kind of carry on the front a little bit more, but let's see how that goes. First off, I want to find aircon because I am boiling. Okay, so of course, the spoiler up, and when we do drive select, let's get it into dynamic. So this has the S-tronic DSG box, so it's dual clutch transmission, but we're going to start with it in the full automatic to see what it's like, and then we'll put it into manual later. But let's get going. The steering does already feel quite light. I think that's a mixture of it being quite a thin, light wheel, and obviously the power assisted steering helping you in there. It already doesn't feel like too big a car. It feels like a 2-seater. You forget about those back seats, and I think realistically they shouldn't have put them in. It's a bit pointless. It's set up very nicely. You're sat in a very nice position driving wise. You can see everything you need to see in the car. Handling wise, you know what you're doing with it. So 0 to 60 time in the standard TTS is 4.4 seconds with the automatic box. So let's see how quick it really does chuck you back. Now, obviously it shares the engine with the Golf R and the S3, and I think people always forget about the TTS, and personally, I prefer a little small sporty car rather than a hot hatch, and this has everything that the hot hatch has, but looks so much better as well. Something special, and you're in something that feels more sporty and feels more like you want to go fast. You can drive it slow, you can drive it daily, it's got the space and the room in the boot, it's got ease of getting in and out, it's got quality, it's got reliability, it's the ideal sports car. The DSG is really nice. Obviously with it being dual clutch, it does give you a little bit more of a kickback because the way it initiates so quickly, and everyone raves about the S-tronic DSG, and I can see why. So standard TTS comes with Audi's magnetised suspension, and the suspension, it feels sporty, so when you are sort of handling it, it does feel it's going where you want it to go, and it handles it so well. It's reducing the body roll and just really having that focus. But then when you want to drive it smoothly, it's so comfortable, and the bumps aren't horrendous in it. Now, traction wise, it grips up really well. I think maybe in the wet you might be a little bit different, but I don't think it's going to be anything severe. But on a dry day like today, you put your foot down, the grip's there, and even round corners, it is hunkering down and getting you round that corner, putting the wheels where they should be. So Audi do state that the miles per gallon in this car is 40.9 as an average. Now that's really good, to be honest. And like I say, if you're looking for a car that's sporty and that you need to use, I wouldn't complain at that miles per gallon, whilst you can still do stuff like this. I'm just having so much fun. The brakes on this feel really firm and nice. I mean, I've heard of issues with brakes on Audi TTs on trackside things, but for the road use, they feel really, really good. But they're also quite nice to be able to balance it and modulate it and play with both the brakes and the throttle a little bit, which for performance of the car, you're going to make the most out of it. Now, saying the average miles per gallon being 40, the way I've been driving it's at 19. My one criticism is it's quite easy to be really happy to put your foot down. So if you do want to keep your licence points free, just make sure you keep your eye on the speed. So like I said with the inside, I love this steering wheel. It's quite thin, but in the right places where you've got the proper grip. And the flat bottom suits quite well, because otherwise your knees might just catch it. It feels really nice to hold, and it does the precision what it wants to do. Obviously, virtual cockpit, I love it. I think it's got everything you need, and again, it's so driver's focused. There's no messing around trying to look elsewhere. You're looking exactly where your speed is. It's telling you what you need it to do. Obviously, Audi quality in here is just beautiful, down to like the red leather on the sides. I love the quill seats. I think they look spectacular. I love it. I think I feel so special sat inside of here. So again, it's got all-round parking sensors. If you're having it as a daily, it's just a nice thing to have. It gives you that bit of security when you're in a few tight spaces, like so. But we're going to make sure it's in dynamic. There we go. The gearbox is in sport for now. We're going to go traction off because it's dry, and let's see if that stability and grip is really all there. So this car in particular is up for 28,000 and it's sitting on about 18,000 miles for a 2016 plate. Obviously car prices at the moment are on a rise anyway, but I think that's really good value for money. When you look at like your Mark 7.5 Golf R's, you're looking anywhere between 25,000 and 30,000. Again, with the S3s, it's hard to pick a nice one up for less than 30. So I think the TT sits quite nicely with its rivals in the same sort of price bracket, and it makes it really down to what your personal preference is. If you want that smaller, proper sports car, or whether you need something that's a bit more practical, but you can have a bit of a play when you want it to be. Now, if you don't need to be getting the kids in the back or taking 12 suitcases to the airport, I know that's a bit of an exaggeration, but this is just perfect for having that bit of fun, and yeah, I definitely have one. Precision around the corners is the car goes where you want it to go. It doesn't feel unbalanced as I thought it might do with all the weight being at the front. It almost has a bit of torque vectoring a little bit, but I feel like if this car was to do anything, if on track, it was going to be a bit of understeer. But then again, you could do things like unbalancing the car, a bit of lift off oversteer, that kind of thing, to be able to unsettle the car to make it do what you want. But for a daily drive, you don't need to worry about stuff like that. You're not going to be pushing it hard enough. You just need to be able to love the car, drive it the way you want to, and be safe. It feels so stable and it feels so capable. It loves it, and you can really put a lot of trust in this car. It's just a whole lot of fun. It's a classy type of sporty, and I love it. I really love it. The nice thing is with this car is you don't have to go fast to enjoy it. There's so much enjoyment in the corners of it, in just like the low speed gear changes up with the farts and stuff like that. Is you don't have to be going 100 miles an hour to be making the most of this car. You can enjoy it whilst remaining safe on the British roads. Also, when you just give it a little change into first, back down, I'm being a yob now. But you can be a yob whilst being safe. I think that must be why things like the S3 and Golf R's are so popular with younger people. It's because they make you feel like you're in something really sporty, and you have the performance, you have the sound and everything like that, and you can yob it around, which, to be honest, let's be honest, every 18 to 25-year-old lad wants to do, and to be honest, most people pass that as well. I love it because I really, really do. Everything about it is fantastic, and I think it's such, I don't know, I'm so amazed. To drive is fantastic, it's so stable, it's so controlled, and I think that's what I really like about it, is that you can be so precise with it, and what you're making it do, it will do, and there's none of this unpredictability about it. Obviously, I'd love to track one, I'd love to find the limit of it and see how it handles at that limit, but sadly, that's not going to be today. Maybe one day. So to conclude my Mark III Audi TTS review, flipping fantastic. That's all I can say. But so a huge thank you to Louth Volkswagen for letting me loose in the TTS today. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and make sure you guys check out the link in the description. They have everything from car sales with some awesome cars, of course the TTS, to servicing, maintenance, and also the tuning side of things with the racing. So please make sure you check them out. And yeah, you guys know the drill. To make my journey your journey, like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!